Hey, this is Dawn, also known as Mama Love with Metal Wani, and I'm here with Paul from Cannibal Corpse. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
No problem at all.
Really appreciate it.
Cool.
So this is your second appearance at the Summer Slaughter Tour.
Yes.
Since its inception in 2007. How's it going so far? It's well underway at this point.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah.
We're getting established. I think this will be the fourth show of the tour now. So,
Okay.
Getting into a groove, of course, with all the bands and all that stuff. But yeah, so far so good. The three
Awesome.
shows so far have been great, and I'm sure tonight should be a good one too. So.
Getting a great response from fans.
Good. That's good. Good to hear.
Yeah. So over the years, you've had a little bit of changing lineups, but you seem pretty stable right now.
Pretty consistent.
Awesome. Is there anything you can attribute that to? Is the band really close outside of, touring and playing?
Well, we get along, of course. I wouldn't say, it'd be rare maybe that all bands are best of friends, and, we're definitely friends. I would say we're around each other so much on the road that usually we don't see each other that much when we're not on the road, other than band practice and stuff like that, a little bit of hanging, but we all got go our own separate ways, got families and all that kind of stuff, but we've went through a few member changes, not many really. When you look at the whole career of Cannibal Corpse, I've been there since the beginning. Alex has been there since the beginning. Rob has been in here now his second stint in the band, and he's been in now for over 10 years.
Right.
And George and Pat have been both in here about 20 years now, So this lineup, of course, in particular, has been the most consistent we've had in years. But yeah, that's you need stability, I think, and you need to get along to have that stability. So
Right.
So it's a good thing we all get along. That's for sure.
Right. So with your touring now with the Summer Slaughter, you have a huge catalog at this point, 13 studio albums. What is your set list like?
Well, it's tough, obviously.
Yeah.
We're playing 15 songs up there tonight, and that's about an hour's worth of music. So, if we were on our own, maybe we'd play a little bit longer with 10 bands and everything. An hour is going to have to suffice. But there you go. We have 15 songs and we have 13 albums.
Right.
So it does make it a little more difficult to get a set list going. We know the songs that the fans want to hear, that we feel need to be in the set, of course, and then we try to promote the new record, play a few new songs, and then maybe mix it up with a couple in there. But yeah, it doesn't get any easier, the more albums we come up with, exactly.
Right.
So many songs to play, so it's tough.
I understand.
Yeah.
Do you change your set list from show to show?
No. Usually, it's rare we even switch it up on from show to show. There's been some tours where we maybe go, okay, we'll rotate a couple of songs, but it would never be a case of, all right, we're going to play a completely different set the next day. That's hard to do. You really need to practice the songs consistently that you're going to be playing, and then we really find it difficult to do it that way. So it's always a lot easier just to come up with a set list and say, this is the set list that we're going to play. This is we're not going to get much different from show to show. It would be nice to do that, but that would be tough. That would be really difficult. I think it'd be hard to do that.
Right. So as you were saying, the band's been together at this point almost 30 years.
Right.
And that's a nice long time. And you're a founding member, so has anything changed over that time? Like your writing process or, other than various band members previously?
Sure. Always things are going to change a little bit, of course you have those changes. You just have the change of exactly here we are 30 years, and of course it's going to be different than it was in the beginning with our successes and everything, of course, But yeah, not much has changed. Our attitude has been the same. I think we really feel we're just playing brutal, in-your-face death metal,
Mm-hmm.
and that hasn't changed. But yeah, I guess you touched on the songwriting. Sure, that's probably a big change. Not a big change, but yeah, we do it a little bit differently than we've done in the past. The original days were, everybody just getting into a room and, throwing out riffs at each other kind of a thing, and that's how you wrote your songs, and we did that for the first 3 records that way, and then things started to change a little bit. Now we wanted, guys wanted to write, I just want to write a whole song by myself, okay, hey, why not? Let's go for it, So then it turned into almost that way a little bit more of the prominent factor. If you look at our credits, for it comes down to an individual writing a song as opposed to the whole band,
Right.
But it still needs to come together as a band, of course, but yeah, and then with technology, that's so much different, of course, having the internet and the tools to be able to use to record or to to share, to be able to write music, where it would have been difficult to be away from each other, kind of a thing, say if everyone needed to be together, otherwise it would be harder to get things done. Now you don't have to technically do that. Somebody can write a song and be at home and send it to you on the computer, and there you go. You don't even have to see the guy, and you can have a song and start working on it. That obviously couldn't have been done 30 years ago.
Right.
So
technology is great.
Yeah, it is.
As far as the genre death metal, in my mind, the writing possibilities, the lyrical possibilities are absolutely limitless. Does it ever become difficult for you to come up with new ideas?
I don't think so. Otherwise, we wouldn't have 13 albums out
Right.
in the matter of almost 30 years. If we did, we'd be stuck on 3 albums because we have no ideas.
Right.
I think it's pretty. We're very creative people. When we have to create, we create. And I think it. You don't want to say it comes easy, but obviously it when we put our minds to it, we're ready to do that. And then when we come up with material, and there we go, we got a record, and we have to do it in confined times like that, exactly, because if we were to wait, we're not Metallica, we're not some band that you can just take liberties and go, yeah, we're multi-millionaires, we'll just get to it when we get. No, this is our job and our livelihood, and we have to keep this machine rolling, to be consistent that way as well. So there's going to be time frames. I mean, right now we don't have, say, a time frame for the new record, but I can tell you, we're ending our cycle right, pretty much on this tour. Well, we're not going to be sitting around for a couple of years doing nothing. Of course, we're going to start writing, getting some material together, and before you know it, we'll be recording. And that's the way we've always done it. But like I said, if we don't do it that way, well then, it's became, like I said, our profession, our job, our means of making a living. So. But yeah, I think obviously aside of that, creatively and just being an artist and all that, and not thinking about any of those things, like I said, we got it in us. I mean, I think we would have. If we had an issue, like I was saying, we wouldn't have these albums out, on timely fashions the way we do.
Well, that question comes from someone with no musical talent whatsoever, so I have to ask.
Well, hey, it makes sense, though, of course. But we're very fortunate that we have that creative energy flowing almost constantly,
Right.
because that's exactly. It would really kind of stink. Exactly, we're done with this, and we get there, and we're all sitting around going, man, we got nothing. None of us have anything. Well, I guess then that's maybe it's time to hang it up. But luckily that's never been the case.
Right. I have read quite a bit of background, and I know that you're banned in several countries.
Sort of. I mean,
sort of.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Is that still going on?
I don't know. I mean, the only thing I know that's happening is the Russian thing that's new.
Right.
And that's sort of, I guess we're banned in Russia now, I guess. So I don't know. The German thing, that's over. So that was in the past, and that's over.
Okay.
If there's anything else that's happened in the past, I don't even know. I know there's always press releases from Metal Blade for years about banned in Australia. Where are we? I don't even know. No, the Australians don't even know this. So who the heck knows? Really, the big one was Germany, and that was well documented. But like I said, that's in the past right now for the most part. And this Russian thing that came up, so.
Right. What's that like, actually? When you were in the throes of going through that, I can't imagine what it's like to have an entire country that won't let you come there.
Well, we just were, the Russian thing, we were just there. And then, now that we're out of there, and we've been there multiple times, and if they're not going to allow us to go back, so be it, where it's not enough of our backs.
Right.
Like, okay, the fans are the ones that lose out,
Right.
I mean, we've been there, luckily, to see that. I'm glad I've been to Russia, to say I've at least been there multiple times. So to us, it really, you don't think about those things. You just don't, I mean, obviously, if it was to affect our whole career, going, my gosh, we can't go anywhere. Well, what the heck, Well, hey, one country, one place, one little thing. you just feel for the fans of those places, because it's not stopping us. It's not stopping us from touring and going the rest of the world. So you almost really just go, man, stinks for those fans. That's all. That's really what it comes down to.
Right. Do you think that hinders or enhances your success?
I mean, it's gonna. Like I said, I don't think it hinders, because it's not anything like a widespread thing. Like we're not gonna. Okay, we're gonna try to go to Europe. Oh man, we can't go anywhere because they won't let us go. Oh,
right.
Well, then that would hinder. But like not being able to go to Russia, how is that hindering us? It's not. It's hindering us from going there to play for those fans,
right.
and for them to be seeing Cannibal Corpse and death metal, and they love it. So that hinders it in a way, but it's not stopping us. And like I said, it's not making us change our thought process or patterns in any way.
Well, I guess I was speaking in terms of when certain people, have certain things, they get bad publicity or whatever it is, it makes them more popular.
Yeah, of course, that's going to always help. I mean, the adage, any publicity is good publicity.
Right.
So that is always going to be the case. So yes, for us talking about this and for people hearing about going to Russia, yes, it's good publicity kind of a thing, because it's just getting people to talk and know the name and know whatever. But okay, that's great. But I don't even know if that matters for us anymore these days. We've been around for 28 years.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a new band that's trying to establish ourselves to get into the door kind of a thing,
Right.
So, maybe, if we were a younger band, maybe these things would be a little bit, I don't know, affect us more, or I don't know. It's stuff I really don't think about.
What's your take on genre snobs?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, there's been a lot of talk in the media lately about what they call genre snobs, and people who will only listen to a specific subgenre of music and won't even consider listening to anything else. And
I mean, that's just, to me, that's just comes with the individual. I mean, I guess if you're going to call that, I was one of those people too. I think that's how most death metal people were.
Okay.
I remember when I growing up, first starting into music, and you're liking, okay, I'm liking this heavy metal stuff, this hard rock stuff. Okay, well, you're at a younger age, and then when you're a little bit older, and you're actually like, okay, I'm a teenager now, and this is what I love. Of course, I was closed-minded. That's what I love. I don't like anything else. I don't want to hear anything else. It's the music I love. Okay. To me, that's okay. That's all right. But you know what? That's more of an adolescent mentality, I think. Because my view has changed, of course. I'm not that kid I was when I was 17, 16, had that attitude of, straightforward like that. Of course it's changed. And I think that came and just getting older, growing, becoming, I don't know, experiencing life, I mean, so I think that's a lot to do with it. And I don't care about that at all. Whatever, you like what you like, that's whatever. If you don't like everything, that's okay.
Do you think bands tend to get pigeonholed into, sticking with a specific type of music?
It depends on the band, we get pigeonholed because we're extreme death metal, and we don't mind that, because we're not anything else but, so we don't mind getting pigeonholed. Now, I don't. If any band's going to care about what anybody says about that, then they should. They shouldn't even be. Why? I don't care what anybody thinks about, if you like the band, you like our music, that's all that it matters. We know we're pigeonholed, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I guess if you're trying to be a band, like if we were trying to do different things, well, then we're pigeonholed as death metal, yes. But we're not. We're not trying to expand. We're not trying to do something that we're not. So I mean, that's all going to be individual to the band, like I said, like to us. Yes, we're pigeonholed into being death metal, and that's and extreme death metal, and there's only so much we can write about, and so many things we can do, but it's a matter of exactly just doing something different every time, coming up with a creative edge that still death metal, still about horrific subject matters that we write about, but maybe just a little bit different than you did in the last record or the last song. So.
Okay. So you mentioned that you might have some new music in the works.
Eventually. I mean, we're going to be finishing this tour. Once we're done with this tour, it's pretty much the end of the cycle. We got one more show at the end of October, but then exactly, it's going to start really pressing on getting material together for the next release. Hopefully sometime in 2017 we're recording.
Great.
But that's all to be determined probably within the next few months, I guess, kind of thing. So.
Awesome. Well, with Metal Wani being based in India, I was wondering if you've ever been there?
We were just in India for the first time about, 2 years years ago. I believe it was about 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. So we played India for the first time. So
Great.
that was an experience. Yeah, it was a great experience. So, hopefully we get to go back again because, great fans, really amazing fans.
I was going to mention you have lots of fans over there.
A lot of fans.
Do you have any message you'd like to send to them?
Well, just thanks for the support from the Indian fans. It was great that we were there, and awesome that there's a lot of death metal in India, so it's good to know. Thank you.
Cool. So as I close out, I'd like to ask a novelty question.
Sure.
At the end. If there's one superpower that you would want, what would it be?
I guess probably to fly would be pretty cool. I think I always remember that when I was a kid. I was always into superheroes. I love, most males, I guess, growing up, you fantasize a bit being Spider-Man and all the comic heroes that you're into. Sure, I remember that being a kid. So, but I for some reason I always remember having dreams of like flying. Like just being above the houses and really having vivid dreams of it too. It's kind of ironic you mentioned that because I actually thought of that kind of recently about remembering these dreams I had when I was younger, and a lot of them had to do with really flying. Like trying being a superhero kind of thing. So
that's cool.
So hey, flying would be pretty fun.
What color would your outfit be?
Probably black and red. I guess. I mean, probably my two favorite colors. So why not black and red?
Cool.
So.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us.
No
I really
problem.
appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.